Good morning, everyone. You're welcome to another episode of Adbond Monday Mental Fitness. And every week, it's our habit to ensure that we start the week on a new note, on a new topic of discussion. So this week, we're going to be discussing on the act of constructive criticism. And our focus is going to be fostering growth and collaboration in a workplace. Constructive criticism. A lot of us are familiar with these words. When we say criticism, it's more of a feedback. And the emphasis here today is more of the constructive criticism, because we can find destructive criticism as well. A feedback that builds or a feedback that destroys. But our focus is to ensure that we're fostering growth and collaboration within a workspace. And of course, we're going to be emphasizing more on giving constructive feedbacks. All right, so we're going to be kicking off with what is constructive criticism. The number one here says constructive feedback aimed at improvement. You're giving a constructive feedback for you to ensure that whoever you're giving that feedback to experience growth. Focuses on solutions, not problem. You're giving a feedback to ensure that whatever the person you're giving feedback to might have done before now, you're giving the person a chance to learn so as to be able to provide solution to whatever problem that might have happened. Note, anybody is prone to make mistake. Mistake is inevitable. It's inevitable. And the last one says you're giving a constructive criticism, to balance acknowledgement of strength with areas for growth. Whatever assignment or whatever might has been done that has brought about a mistake, it still boils down to the fact that the assignment has been done, but there is an error, right? So you're trying to lay emphasis on the strength the person has rather than emphasizing on the weakness. So it is important to point out the place of strength, because that is where the growth comes out, the learning aspect comes out. And when you're giving the feedback as well, you're providing solution. You're not just focusing on what mistake might have been done. And note, like I said in the opening phase, this is a constructive criticism. We are trying to build up, so it has to be intentional. It has to be intentional. So you are building up whatever has been done, whatever feedback you're giving. So you have to try as much as possible to avoid giving a destructive criticism. It is very, very, very important. You're looking out for growth in that wherever you're giving the feedback. You're looking at ensuring that the person is able to learn for whatever has happened to give a better solution next time. So the next slide says, why is constructive criticism important? Why is constructive criticism important? Encourage growth. It encourages growth. That is the first one. It encourages growth. Number two, it builds trust. Whenever such person or any person within a workplace, within a department makes a mistake, the person won't shy away from the fact to come out, because we have different persons within a department that carry out different assignments, provided it's even more than one or two persons. If the mistake was done by that person, the person will be able to come out and say, oh, I did this, knowing fully well that whoever is going to be handling the matter would give a constructive criticism. You're not going to beat down their morale, because it is very important that when you're giving feedback, your empathy is in check, because you have to be able to empathize alongside as much as you're trying to correct, to give a feedback. Because what that trust helps to bring about, it fosters open communication. The person is able to open up, oh, I did this, I did that, and obviously looking for a place to be corrected. Number three is it boosts performance. It boosts performance. When we're talking about boosted performance, we're talking about the quality of work. Quality of work. The first time you start something, you might not bring out a very good output. But it is said that practice makes perfect. So everybody has a place of learning. It is very important. You learn till you get better. Practice makes perfect. Strengthens confidence. It strengthens confidence. With growth comes a number of things. You're courageous to face whatever assignment you're being handed to over time. You recognize the person's strengths. The fact that you recognize the strengths and you're not recognizing the weakness, it builds confidence in that person. Okay, next time this is what I need to do differently. And even if next time I make a mistake, the person will try as much as possible to open up, because there is trust that has been placed placed in place. If you look at this image, it says everyone makes mistakes. No one is above mistake. Everyone make mistakes. So these are the reasons why constructive criticism is important. Yeah, the next one says, how then do we deliver this constructive criticism? How then do we deliver the constructive criticism? It is important you have it in mind that you start with the positives. You start with the positive. In as much as the topic of discussion is constructive criticism, that constructiveness also means positive. You're driving towards the positive aspects, not more of the negative, right? The reason why you're giving a feedback is obviously because an error has occurred, a mistake has happened, right? So it is important that you build on the positive side. You're building up wherever you're giving the feedback to. So start with positives. It is important to highlight strengths and achievements that has been done. It is very, very important. Highlight, like I said, focus on the strengths, not the weakness. Focus on the strength, not the weakness. And I think one of my good friends will say, focus on the matter, not the person. Focus on the issue on ground, not the person. Because when you do it to the point and you're beating down the person, morale gets short of. Work over time, not even for that particular time. Morale over time keeps going down. Number 2, be specific. In being specific, you are trying to ensure that you are focusing on the matter at hand. You are implementing the use of I and not making use of you. Because by the time you start pointing out, you did this, you did that, the person can be defensive. So it is important that you are speaking from your point of view. You're standing on the positive aspects, such that you are also highlighting the place of strength of the person. Because no matter what you do, no matter how you're giving that feedback, you are of course going to be, speaking on the matter. Because all you are doing at that point in time is you're attending, or you're trying to sort the matter at hand. And it is very important to avoid vague or generalized feedback. So that is where the use of I comes in place. Avoid using you, because by the time you start using you, like I said, the person gets defensive. And the reason why you're giving feedback is such that you want the person to learn from the mistake, take whatever has been done and see what can be done better over time. Number 3 says, use respectful languages. Use respectful languages. You try as much as possible to avoid it from taking it personal. Yeah, you have to try as much as possible not to take it personal. Use respectful languages. Make it less confrontational. You want to try as much as possible to not, put it out there such that you are confronting the person. Use respectful language such that you are focusing on the matter. And like I said as well, in as much as you are highlighting whatever has happened, you're trying to solve a problem, you have to offer solution as the person who is giving a feedback. Something has happened, you're not just coming up to highlight the fact that, oh, this and this and this happened. Try to provide solution. Because by doing so, you've done 50% of trying as much as possible to ensure that the same mistake does not occur over time. By offering solution, you are providing actionable plans. You're providing actionable plans to prevent such from happening next time. And number 5 says, follow up, ensure progress, and provide ongoing support. Whenever the matter has been handled, you want to try as much as possible that even after that feedback has been given, you want to try to follow up. You want to try to check on, you want to try to put your input at every point in time to ensure that whatever has been addressed the previous time does not happen again. And that is how you providing actionable plans comes in place. And by doing so, you try as much as possible to overcome. The next one, we're going to be looking at examples of constructive criticism. We've been talking about constructive criticism, how you should approach and how you should speak. Try as much as possible not to be confrontational. So we're going to be looking at a few examples. So let's say in a workplace or in a department, you've given assignments to a team member or you've delegated something, and number 1 says your presentation was disorganized. This does not build up the person's morale. You want to try as much as possible to form a sentence, and whatever you are saying per line, the person is even receptive, willing to listen to next thing you want to say. So instead of going, your presentation was disorganized, you could do it this way. Your insights were excellent. Organizing the main points more clearly could make it even more impactful. So Yeah, you are pushing the fact that, you're clearing the fact that, okay, you did the report, right? But these are things you could have done better. You're praising the person, you're highlighting the positive, you're highlighting the strength, then you are giving you are providing a solution as to what could have been done better. Number 2 says you're careless. These are short and easy to say, right? And as a normal human, you'd want to go for the easy sentence. You don't want to talk much. But it's important that you empathize with whoever you are giving feedback. You are constructive with your criticism. The after, you should say this instead of this. You're careless. You should say you're careless. You should not say you're careless. You should say the report was missing key data. By doing this, you're not attacking the person. You're not attacking the work that has been done. You're more like giving insight of the fact that the report is missing key data, right? Then the third one says you don't communicate well with the team. This also sounds easy, right? But what you should say is, I really value your contributions to the team. To keep everyone on the same page, sharing updates regularly will help us collaborate even better. So it is very, 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 very important. Let's avoid the shortcuts. Let's ensure to put the next person in mind, because constructiveness takes intention, and it is very, 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 very important. Yeah, the next one says benefit of constructive criticism. What do you get out of being constructive, especially in the workplace, in an organization where you have, people either within a department or something? Number 1, it builds growth-oriented environments. You addressing a matter basically means you want to pinpoint, or you want to address an issue, but you want to try as much as possible to ensure that such does not repeat itself over time or next time. Even if it happens, it should be very, very minimal. Then you know that over time it changes totally. It encourages accountability. Like we said in the introductory part, it builds trust. The person will be able to communicate. If you don't have someone to communicate, there's nobody to be held accountable, except it is plain and clear that, this person did this. But in a place where 3 or 4 people can carry out that particular assignment, nobody will come out if they know that what is coming up is to beat down my morale and beat down what I have done. So it is important that we put this in the check. Then lastly, it strengthens relationship. It strengthens in a relationship. As much as the examples we have looked at, like I said, what you should say and what you should not say. The ones that are really not good in a workplace are things that are very easy to say. But it is very important that we are intentional about building up the next person morale, the person who are giving the feedback. Is very, very important, because by doing so, there is less fights, there is less error, there is less mistake, and there is opportunity to grow. So it strengthens relationship. It is very, very, very important. Then recommendations. So this recommendation is simple. It's just 3 watchwords, more like 3 simple acronyms, so as not to make it so much bogus. ACR, and the A means acknowledge. You can begin by acknowledging the positive aspects of the person's work or efforts. This is just to break down what the whole constructive criticism is all about, everything we've talked about. It's a way to break it down. So ensure you acknowledge the strengths. Critique, share your constructive feedback. Be specific, be objective, and focus on the behavior or actions rather than personal traits. Focus on the issue, not the person. Because by doing so, the person gets defensive, like I said earlier. So recommend, in giving your feedback as well, whatever problem has been highlighted or has been seen, ensure you are profiling solution. Ensure you don't just come for the problem. Profile solution. This is what could have been done better. This is what you can do differently. So it is very, very important. Ensure there are actionable suggestions, recommendations for improvement, offer guidance, resources, and support to help them succeed. It is very, very, within department, within an organization, within ourselves as team members, it is important. If it's something you have seen that, this person is not doing so well, rather than approach it destructively, let's approach it constructively. It is very, very important. Put in mind that starting with positivity helps you achieve that critics very well. Then our take home from Norman Vincent Peale, he says, the trouble with most of us is that we would rather be ruined by praise than saved by criticism. I mentioned if you have 10 team members on the table and you're proposing, their proposals going out, this is how we should do, and everyone is saying yes, yes, yes. Same thing comes with assignments. Maybe you've done an assignment and you are praised from time to time to time. The wage you would grow is less, would be lesser, or would be smaller or slower to the way if you had been criticized, what you would have seen to do better. It's not like what you've done is wrong, right? Most of the time, it's just maybe a better view from another perspective, right? So it helps us, it saves us trouble. It saves us trouble. So it is even better to get criticized than being praised over time, because growth is assured with criticism. Growth is assured with criticism because you would yearn for more. And this was said by Norman Vincent Peale, who is a pastor. So thank you very much for listening to the session. I would like to take your questions, comments, and suggestions from this brief training. Thank you very much.